Welcome back, adventurers. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me under this noisy overpass. I left you last when I stopped here at 540 aka Fall Line Freeway and bypass. There's a big truck coming behind me, guys. Hang on. The echo under this overpass is amazing. That's why I'm excited to hear what this fat bob sounds like. After it's been sitting a minute at this overpass. I thought it sounded pretty good. Maybe y'all can't hear it, or maybe y'all didn't like it. Either way, I enjoyed it. It sounded good to me, so I'm happy. But my break is over. I made not a short. I was gonna do a short. Well, I did make a short. But crap. Sorry, y'all. Forgot the microphone was way up there. Anyway, I did make a short, and then I also made a regular video that I'm not going to put through the video editor. Every time I try to use CapCut on my phone, it always does something wonky, and whatever music I put in, I end up getting like poor choices available to me, and I just don't like it, so I don't use it. So there won't be anything advertising, no stickers, no decals, no neat little things jumping through the screen. It'll just be me talking with a lot of traffic. So good luck. I don't know how it sounds yet, but good luck. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, but while I was sitting there creating this content and giving a 1.5 year update on these boots, I checked my messages, and I had a message from Catastrophic. Actually had 2 messages from Catastrophic. Now, I have been talking to him about his fat bob, my concerns with it, especially the tires, the battery sounding like it's getting weak, and the tail light in need of attention because it apparently shorts out and stops working from time to time. So that tells you there's a pinched wire or something to that degree. So that needs attention. And he told me he was going to be going this afternoon to get his first tattoo. Of course, first question I asked him was if he was going to go see Dean. Now, Dean is MotoVlogger, Virginia. He's one of the guys in our community here. And he's actually not but like 1.5 hours to 2 hours away from where Catastrophic is currently based. However, he indicated that it was too far for him to be able to travel in an afternoon and return in time. So he is going to Lucky 13, I think it is, to get his first tattoo. Now, I asked him if it was going to be a surprise to me, what it was going to look like, or if he had an image of it already. And he sent me the image of it, and I approve. It's not a bad first tattoo as far as the design goes. Now, I haven't seen what it actually looks like in color or shading or anything of that nature, just the outline. So I approve. It is a good first tattoo if you're going to get a tattoo. Depends on the location. The buddy he was showing it on had it on his forearm, the underside of his forearm, which isn't a bad spot, but it begins to limit your options in some areas. So I'm curious to see where Catastrophic's going to put it. He said his friend was gifting him this tattoo because I assume because it's his first. Got a biker coming up. Fast boy. What's up, dude? Alright, he didn't give any head taps, so that tells me there should be none of the donation collectors up ahead. So we should be safe to roll on. Not that we're going to be rolling that fast. I'm not going to be super speeding on Catastrophic bike. I'm keeping it about 70, 75, which is only 5 or so above the speed limit currently. I've been known to be a heathen on the highway from time to time, but not today, not tonight. I'm going to enjoy this ride without going crazy, you know what I'm saying? To show some restraint. Because Catastrophic's bike, which I covered this, I think, in the last video, and I've covered it in other videos, but his 2018 Harley Davidson Fat Bob with the, I think it's still a stock 107 with dual Vance and Hines high outputs, sounds amazing and pulls for days. It's impressed a couple guys on road glides and street glides, especially a certain someone on a shark patterned road glide, how well this bike will pull off from a dead stop. And the Lowrider ST is no different. It rides very similar, a little more classy, but this Fat Bob used to be mine. We had a Sportster 48 that was my first bike after our accident from 2018. Me and Brainy Chameleon had a motorcycle accident in 2018. We had a lot of road rash. What happened? We were on a 96 Sportster S 1200 or 1200S. I don't remember the exact name of it, but we were headed to help a buddy or a couple that were our friends. We were going to help them move, and the front brake calipers locked up when I was slowing the bike down, and it sent both me and Brainy Chameleon to the highway. Now, we were going about 65 miles an hour at the time because that's the speed limit in that area, and we weren't going anything above the speed limit because that was my first bike in a long time. I had at least two other bikes previously, and had rode on scooters or e-bikes, if you will, in China. But this was my first road bike since for like years, since I had blown up my Yamaha Maxim 1100. So we weren't going anything crazy. We were going normal speeds. The brake caliper seized up. We went to the highway and we slid from 65 miles an hour to 0 on the blacktop. Now, to give you an idea of what riding gear and safety equipment we had on at the time, I was wearing my New Balance tennis shoes, blue jeans, just regular Wrangler blue jeans, a t-shirt, and a skull cap helmet, no gloves. So very minimal gear there, guys. Brainy Chameleon was wearing a tank top, a full face helmet, and gym shorts. Now, because she was wearing gym shorts and I knew we'd be traveling down the highway, I asked her to please put on my chaps to protect her legs from the debris on the road hitting her legs and gashing her leg up like that. So she agreed, and she did, which luckily she did. That saved her legs. I'm almost 100% positive Brainy Chameleon would not be mobile today if she had not been wearing my chaps during that accident. Now, after that, we got a Sportster 48 in 2019. A year later, we got the Sportster 48 from Wallace down at the Tifton Harley Davidson dealership. Y'all know that's one of my favorite Harley shops. Bringing it down again in case somebody pulls out. It's about that time in the afternoon. You stopped. Yay! From Wallace down in Tifton, like I was saying, And I rode that bike for 9 months, 10 months, just shy of a year, because that wasn't one of those you buy a Sportster till you realize what you want, a real bike. It wasn't one of those situations. It was, we bought the Sportster because we didn't want to buy an expensive bike if I was too afraid to ride it on a regular basis. It was to see if I had it in me to still ride. That's why we got the 48. And I rode that bike every day, everywhere. I rode it to work, rode it to play, rode it in the rain all year until we traded it in. And this is how I have gone off on a tangent talking about Catastrophic, but sorry, Catastrophic, your tattoo is going to have to be covered in another video. This is going to be me rambling about the bikes. Alright, so I attempted to go to the Macon Harley Davidson dealership to upgrade from the Sportster 48. Now, at that point, I appreciated Wallace and his customer service when we bought the 48, but that had been the only thing we had purchased from them to that point. So there was no requirement in my head yet for customer loyalty. All right. So I tried to go to the Macon Harley shop to test ride the replacement for the Sportster 48, the unnamed Sportster 48. It never got a name. And I contacted the salesman there, told him what I had, a couple of the bikes I was looking at upgrading to, and if we could go on some test rides to try the bikes out. Now, to let you know my level of dedication to the appointment I set with this gentleman to test ride motorcycles, it was raining that morning. But I put on all my gear, got on that little Sportster 48, rode up into Macon, walked into the dealership and said, all right, buddy, do you have the bikes for me to test ride? And he said, well, we don't have this one, that one, or that one. We do have this one. You can go on a test ride with it. But before we do, let's talk about your finances. And that's where he kind of lost me. He wasn't even willing to test ride the bikes. He wanted to just sell me the one option he had for me to upgrade from the 48, and was just wanted to sell the bike instead of getting me on the bike that would be right for me. So needless to say, I left that dealership highly pissed off, because I rode up there in the rain to get on my next bike, my next forever bike. You know what I'm saying? So I was pissed. And I haven't been back into the Macon dealership to look at any bikes since. We've only been to 2 or 3 events. Because of that, I just have a sour taste in my mouth about the Macon dealership. But I contacted Wallace down in Tifton and said, hey, Wallace, I don't know if you remember me. I bought a bike from you, And he remembered who I was. He remembered the night, because we were up there till like 9 o'clock at night closing the deal on that bike. He said, I remember the night. What are you looking at? And I said, well, honestly, man, I'm not sure what the next bike is for me. I know you got road glides, street glides, lowrider S's. You have a sport glide. Oh, you don't have a sport glide. Okay. Well, you have a Fat Bob. I'll try that. And we had 6 bikes lined up for me to test ride. Long story short, I ended up getting this Fat Bob right here, and it has been amazing. It has... What the hell? It was an amazing bike. I was trying to figure out what was going on. It's Friday, that's right. The schools are going to do ball game stuff. That's what's going on. Okay, I can calm down now. But we got the Fat Bob, and it has been amazing. And I rode to the point where we put 43,000 miles on the bike and hadn't done any modifications to it. Now, we did have the hand guards added and change the seat, but as far as real modifications to the motor, we did nothing. We didn't change anything. Then I contacted Wallace when the Lowrider ST was released in 2023, and I fast forwarded, I'm sorry. We bought the Fat Bob. It's been amazing. Went to trade it in on a 2022 Lowrider ST, but the Lowrider STs in 22 didn't come out in the colors I wanted. And I don't want to buy a bike just to pay someone else to change the color of it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm buying a new bike, I want it to be the color I want it to be, so I don't have to change it. So I did not end up purchasing the 22 Lowrider STs, and I was paid by Karma because in 23 they released it in white. Now, the white isn't as pretty as Fat Bob's white, in my opinion, but it's still a pretty white. I like it. But I got it in white, and I've been enjoying it ever since. Now, Catastrophic and his motorcycle lifespan began on a 2006, yeah, all right, a 2006 Kawasaki Z750S. That was Catastrophic's beginner bike. Now, the 750S never got to its full power potential in our hands. It had a fuel delivery system, which made it hard for the bike to reach full RPM levels. It needed a new gas tank is what it needed, and I did not have the money, nor was I fully aware how bad the tank was. But yeah, the gas tank was the issue on that bike. But Catastrophic began on that 750S. We began doing slow speed maneuvers, parking lot style maneuvers, the kind of stuff that you would have to be able to do in a permit test. And that's what he began doing. And then he got out on the road with me, and then he went on a couple longer rides. But the 750 kept giving us that issue with RPMs, and it kept wanting to bog out and die. And he was getting frustrated with it. So like, okay, let's see what we can do. And then my dad had a Honda Shadow 1100, Honda Shadow Spirit, 05 Honda Shadow Spirit 1100. He had got to ride with his wife, but his wife had absolutely no interest in riding with him at all, and then he lost all interest in riding himself. So he gave Catastrophic that bike, and we spent a little bit of time and money getting it up where it needed to be, but that was Catastrophic's bike after that. Now, he rode it and enjoyed that bike, and it began doing what we could never figure out exactly what the problem was. It was intermittent. It didn't happen all the goddamn time, all right? That's what I'm trying to say. Intermittently, the problem would occur where he would be on his way to school and the bike would shut off completely, wouldn't restart. A few minutes later, it would restart with no issue and run all the way. Plus, he said he could feel a power difference. It would begin to feel sluggish before it would start to lose its power completely. So we were talking to him about what we could do to replace the Honda Shadow. He had been working at his Huddle House job for a year and a half, 2 years at that point. So he had shown work dedication. So we were willing to help him replace that bike with him using the Honda Shadow as his down payment, since at that time the Honda Shadow was fully paid for. We had no liens against it. It was ours. I did not like that idea because my father had given us that bike, but it was something we were discussing and seeing if it was going to be feasible. I was riding down to Tifton or past Tifton. I might have been going to Valdosta. I can't remember. But anyway, I ended up going by the dealership, the Tifton dealership. And out front was sitting my old Fat Bob, Catastrophic's Fat Bob. This Fat Bob, the one between my legs right now. And I took pictures of it and sent it to Brainy and said, they have my Fat Bob still here. And that conversation quickly went into, okay, we're trading in the Shadow for the Fat Bob. This is what the payments need to be. This is the coverage we need. Y'all need to make that happen. And of course, they made it happen. And we traded in the Honda Shadow for my old Fat Bob, which made it acceptable to me to trade in the bike my dad gave us to get the bike that was my big boy Harley. You know what I'm saying? I knew the power level of the bike. I knew what it was capable of. He knew what it was capable of because he had rode it before. He even dropped it in the yard once. So we knew the bike. There was no mysteries to it. We had had it for, hey buddy, how y'all doing? That is a bad curve for traffic having to be slowed down in. Whoa. Let me get my finger on the flasher. Let these folks know what's coming up. Where was I? Oh, yeah, okay. So that's why I felt comfortable trading in the Shadow for my Fat Bob. And Catastrophic has been in love with it since. But it needs some help. We've got to get it up to 100% again. Well, it's not below 100%. It's just not where it needs to be. The tires need replacing. The battery probably needs replacing at this point. And I need to figure out the taillight situation, why his taillights aren't working correctly. So, but I'll be doing it and helping him, doing that and helping him out with it. He's going to be, of course, funding some of this himself because it is his bike, it is his responsibility. He is Marine and he should be able to handle his responsibilities. But I am dad, I am biker dad, I am going to be helping him out one way or the other because that's what dads do, that's what bikers do, that's what biker dads do. So that's what's going to happen, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed this rambling episode. It started with me hearing from Catastrophic about his tattoo. This one is going to be a deuce and a half to edit because of the length. And my computer is having issues with its memory. It says it doesn't have enough, it doesn't have enough. But everything's on external hard drives, man. What are you talking about? What's going on? So I had to do a little cleaning on the computer. And before you guys get crazy, it is not an adult website visiting computer, okay? So there's no concerns about me attracting unneeded viruses or anything like that. All I do is edit. I played World of Warcraft on it, but I had to stop doing that. And I just edit my stuff and upload to YouTube. I don't go to any sites that would have viruses on them. So my computer was just having some sort of issue. But anyway, long story short, this one's gonna be fun to edit, but I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm not too far from the house. I haven't hit Twiggs County yet, but not too far. But I am getting thirsty, so I want to take a pause in the conversations in order to, hey buddy, how you doing? In order to take a swallow of my drink and finish out my ride going home. It is a beautiful day. I've enjoyed this ride going to the doctor and coming back home. I have my medications. Whoa, Dragonfly didn't make it, guys. it didn't make it. But anyway, I've enjoyed this ride. It has been amazing. But you know what else is amazing? Helping other people out. And helping other people out is what David and Cindy do at Forgotten Angels. Actually, what they do is they help the young men and women who have aged up through the foster care system and the abuse they have sustained during the foster care system. They help these young men and women acquire the life skills they need, like how to open a bank account, how to get a driver's license, how to apply for insurance, how to not make the same mistakes, to help prevent the repeating cycles of abuse, and to give them a shot at being happy adults, happy and successful individuals. That's what David and Cindy do down at Forgotten Angels. I can't say what they do enough. Nothing I say will be enough to describe to you what they do and how much it affects not only their community, but the lives of so many others out there, especially those in the Shade Tree Army. We're all driving behind the same goal. Yeah, we're a bunch of misfits, ne'er-do-wells, heathens. Not all of us follow the traffic laws correctly, as I go pleasantly down the highway myself. We're all in it for the same reason, guys, and that's helping out David and Cindy at Forgotten Angels. But another group I like to help out is Possum Southern Rescue in Bonaire. Bonaire, Desert Outlaw. I told you, English is hard, man. Bonaire, Warner Robins in the Macon area. They foster out and adopt out pups, dogs of all shapes and sizes, breeds, ages, health conditions, pups in need, my guys. So if you can, help them out. We've adopted 2 of our dogs from them, and we have loved them ever since. So if you can, help them out. That's Possum Southern Rescue, guys. If you can't adopt, you can't foster, donate, buy a dog a bone. I love saying that line. All right, guys, I'll let y'all go, and I'm gonna finish this ride out.